As we've been talking about on the program, the big political issue of the day concerns New South Wales, the crucial Upper Hunter by-election. This is critical for the coalition government. The Nationals hold the seat by a 2.6% margin. David Lozelle, the candidate for the Nationals, is considered a slight favourite. The Deputy Premier of New South Wales, the Nationals leader, John Barilaro, joins me on the program. Barra, good morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
This is crucial for you, isn't it? How important is it for you to win this seat?
Oh, look, absolutely. It is important we win this seat. One, for, of course, staying out of minority government. Number two, it's also about making sure that, when we make a decision, we see investment, that we get accolades for it and recognition for it. And in this particular seat, it's huge investment. And we're only midway through the term and there's more to come. So, for the people and the voters here, the best thing they can do is keep us in. They get another chance to whack us in 18 months. But right now is the opportunity to keep us in, and we'll continue to deliver what was promised.
So you say they get another chance to whack you. Is there a feeling, you've been up there a lot in the last couple of weeks, is there a feeling they might want to whack you?
No, not at all. No, look, I've got to say, in the circumstances we find ourselves in this election, to be honest, there's been goodwill on the ground. They respect us on the decision and how quick we responded to that situation. They recognise that we've been here before, and I'm a frequent visitor, and even though I have spent the last 6 weeks, big part of it up here, and they're seeing the investment. So, no, there's no anger. I think that's what's caught everybody by surprise, especially our opponents. There's no anger on the ground. But, I'm tough on myself. We're in the middle of the term. We've made a lot of promises in 2019 that we want to deliver on. And when I say if we don't deliver on those, and we've made a few more promises now in the by-election, when then people get a chance to have a whack at us, but that'll be at the next election. Don't do it midstream.
Because there's been, honestly, plenty of drama for your government. Everybody, I think, agrees that Gladys Berejiklian and yourself have handled the COVID pandemic magnificently. But with the various MPs who are now sitting on the crossbench and other issues before ICAC and so forth, it hasn't been an easy run in the last 12 months.
No, look, it hasn't, and that's part of governing and being in government. You get these issues, if members are doing the wrong things, we have to make examples of them. And the truth is, as we made a decision here with Upper Hunter, I knew that could possibly put us into minority government. But geez, we've got to set a standard. Aren't we at a time in politics where the public are fed up with this? So if we don't set a standard, I'd rather know that I can sleep at night knowing that I set a standard. If it means losing the seat, so be it. And we'll take some lessons from it. But right now, I'm feeling confident, and I'm proud of what we've done. But I tell you what, it's been a tough 12 months. COVID probably has covered some of it in the sense that people are more focused on the pandemic and recovery than what's happening at the level of Parliament.
When you're door knocking, do the people that you speak to in the Upper Hunter realise how critical it is for the government in terms of the numbers in Parliament? Because everybody seems to love Gladys in New South Wales, but I don't know if there's a lot of recognition of the numbers are very tight.
Yeah, there is a disconnect. There is a disconnect about that. What happens tomorrow may or may not affect the government for the rest of the term, and we do have to remind people that at the last election we just got over the line with a couple of seats. We do rely heavily on those seats, and with of course what's occurred with John Sidoti and then Michael Johnson and now the member for Kiama. The reality now is that this seat's so important if you want stability, and we're having to actually talk through that. And once people hear it and understand it, they actually get it, because they actually keep reminding me that they're happy with the government, the way we manage the pandemic, but more so about making sure we come out of the other side with stronger. And I think that's on our side. I think that message is on our side. But again, by-elections, third-term government, by-elections, a sex scandal. Seriously, we should not even be in the race, but we are.
Just lastly, in terms of an issue that affects the electorate, yesterday, Barra, I was at one of the protesters, just as a reporter, not protesting, but as a reporter, where there was thousands of kids who were protesting about climate change issues. And they made a big point about the Kurri Kurri mine. The Kurri Kurri power station, the gas-fired power station. Is that the key issue in the electorate, job security in the power industry?
Job security in the power industry, absolutely, because many of the industries up here are heavy industries. So just take mining out away from that for a second. But there are a lot of engineering firms, manufacturing firms, and therefore what you're seeing is that there's a reliance on energy, a downward pressure on prices, and more important, security in supply. And I've got to tell you, the Kurri Kurri announcement I've got to thank my federal colleagues. The announcement came at the right time. Now, we keep talking about moving from coal to renewable. Gas is the transition. And, once upon a time, the Greens would back in gas every day of the week. Every day of the week. But they've jumped on another bandwagon. They're against gas. They're against coal.
Because all these kids were protesting. They were really, the high school kids mostly, they were very passionate anti-gas.
Yeah, they're anti-gas, but that's indoctrinate. That's actually what's happening in our school system, that we're actually, in one side, not telling the truth to the kids about what's occurring. Climate change is real. We accept that. We've got targets to reach net zero emission, but we're not going to destroy jobs. We're not going to destroy industry. We're not going to destroy what we know. And let's not try and resolve every single issue today through today's technology. Keep forgetting over the decades ahead, technology will change so quickly and so in a way that we'll be able to find those solutions for those outer issues. And I just find that, unfortunately, a lot of our kids have been brainwashed in a way to think there's a climate emergency. And guess what? That's not the case. And if you come up into the Hunter, where we've got the coexistence of industries, including mining and energy is a big part of that, you know what? They all get on and they all understand there's no panic. But you know what? In an orderly manner, over the next decades, we'll be able to transition.
I'd ask you about Mr. Turnbull, but I suspect I know what the answer will be.
I tell you what, I started this campaign with Turnbull, and he shot his mouth off at the start. He shot his mouth off at the end. I think the public has seen him for what he is. He's a traitor. The only reason he was ever Prime Minister was because of the Liberal Party. You know what? If it was actually honourable and he wants to keep such a title, he should just quit. Do the right thing. Quit and then go and campaign for everybody and anybody at any time. But I'm sure he won't do that.
Always good to talk to you, Mr. Barilaro. Good luck for your candidate, David Loiselle, today.
Not a problem, thank you. I'm sure we'll talk soon about the result.
The Deputy Premier of New South Wales, John Barilaro.